What's up everyone, welcome to Maelstrom Gaming, and today we're going to be taking a look at the data mined abilities and talents of Johanna, Crusader of Zakarum. There's a little picture for you. This is from the same site where we got the information on Kael'thas, and I'll post it in the description below if you haven't already seen it. But let's take a look at her abilities first. I have watched the video that previewed her abilities, so we have a little bit of something to go on to kind of gauge on how strong an ability might be. Except Punish. It's a cooldown of 8 seconds, area of effect, deal some damage and slow enemies by I don't know how much, but it decays over 2 seconds. I assume this is going to be relatively strong. You know, I don't expect it to be like a 20% slow. It might be like 40%, maybe even 50%. I assume it's going to be relatively strong. Something like that. But we'll see. You know, it should be stated that Johanna is still very early in development. She's the closest thing after Kael'thas, of course, but still, all these things are completely subject to change, especially the talents and some of the numbers maybe on abilities, stuff like that. So keep that in mind. So, Condemn. 10 seconds cooldown. After 1 second, you pull nearby enemies toward you, stunning them for 0.25 seconds and dealing 120 damage. This is actually a really cool ability because you can actually move while you're channeling it. Basically what happens is you get a little circle around you and you can continue to move so you can like target who you're going to be pulling sort of and stuff like that. So it's one of those abilities. It reminds me a lot of like Diablo's combo ETC face melt because it displaces enemies, and that's really important as a tank or a warrior. You know, Stitch's hook, for example, as well. Displacing enemies or isolating an enemy even can be really, really strong to give you an advantage in a team fight. So this is a really cool ability. Shield Glare. Cooldown of 12 seconds, deal damage to enemies and cause them to miss their next 2 basic attacks within 4 seconds. So it's basically like that Lily ability. Whatever it's called. I don't play Lily, but the blind. Okay. But this could be really strong because I assume it deals damage, like it deals damage into comb. So every enemy hit, and it's not just 2 for Lily. You could hit an entire team with this, and this is a lot of damage. Like if there's an Illidan on the enemy team or a Nova maybe, you know, if you hit all of them with Shield Glare, this could be a huge damage reduction. And now let's take a look at the heroic abilities: Blessed Shield and Falling Sword. Blessed Shield is a skill shot on 60-second cooldown, deal damage, and stun the first enemy hit for 2 seconds! That's a long stun, man. That's really long. And then it even bounces to 2 nearby enemies, dealing less damage, about half, and stunning them for 1 second. This could be crazy strong at like initiating, or really a lot, just controlling the battle. Like a 2-second stun is really long. Like, maybe not counting like in real life, like 1, 2, okay, it's over. But if you're counting that in a MOBA, that's a long-ass time. A lot of stuff can happen in 2 seconds in Heroes of the Storm. So this could be really strong. Falling Sword. 80 seconds, area of effect. You leap towards an area. While in the air, you can steer the landing location by moving. After 2 seconds, you land, dealing a lot of damage. Like if you'll take a look, it's actually twice what Blessed Shield does to the first target. And it's to all enemies and knocking them into the air. Now, I was a little confused on what this meant, knocking them into the air, but looking into the video where it's showcased, we can actually see it's sort of like a mini stun. It's not that long. It's like 0.25 seconds. So, you know, it's not as CC heavy as Blessed Shield, but it is more damage heavy. Like, for instance, you're only dealing, let's see, 250 plus 250. So you're dealing 500 damage here. You're dealing 550 damage to every enemy hit here. So this is definitely more damage. Absolutely. And then her trait is, I assume this is Iron Skin. I think this is just a typo. 25 mana, cooldown 20 seconds, become unstoppable, and gain a shield that absorbs 1343 damage for 4 seconds. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, unstoppable is basically CC immune. You know, no CC is going to work. No slows, no stuns, no roots, nothing will work. And that's 4 seconds of that. And a huge shield. Like, I have to see in-game how strong this is, but this seems really like a huge number to just show, like with like 550 here, and then you see 1343 here. That's a lot of damage that you're absorbing with Iron Skin. So this could be a really strong trait, and you use it by activating D, of course. Now, let's take a look at the talents. I haven't actually looked at all at any of these, so this will be pretty interesting. All right, level 1, Knight takes Pawn. Condemn deals 80 additional damage to minions and mercenaries and stuns them for 4 seconds. Okay, I'm not too impressed by this ability. This is kind of a bad ability. I don't think I'd consider myself ever taking this. It's because, I don't see warriors as the ones who need to worry about the minions. This does, unless there's nothing else good in this tier, I would never take this. Just because, there's so many other... Hopefully, there's other choices. Let's take a look at them. Reinforce. Using basic abilities reduces the next basic attack against you by 50% maximum 2 stacks. This is already a million times better than Night Take Spawn, in my opinion. It basically gives you a block. I can't remember what the actual damage reduction is on block, but look at this. 50% basic attack reduction. And this can stack, 2 stacks, so you basically get a block, and then you can kind of chain your abilities together, so you always have a block. Or at least, you have 6 in a row. That's pretty strong if you look at it. Righteous Smash. Punish restores 10 mana per enemy hit. Okay. If she has major mana problems, I might consider taking this, but look at Reinforce, man. That's a lot of damage reduction. 50%. Block is already pretty decent. It's decent. And block is better than this, in my opinion, unless this is an absurd amount of mana. This is just not the right number or something like that. I'll take Reinforce every time, just because it gives you more damage reduction, and everything else doesn't give you a damage increase of any note or, utility in any way. Level 4, Eternal Retaliation. Condemns cooldown is lowered by 0.75 seconds for each enemy effective maximum of 10 targets. Oh, that means it affects minions as well. I knew Condemn pulled in minions, but I didn't know that this talent would affect minions. So that's cool. You could get a 7.5 second cooldown reduction on this if you hit 10 targets, but that's a pretty big if. A lot of the fights that happen aren't going to happen around minions. So this could be good. This could be really good. If you hit 10 minions, or 10 targets, you can Condemn again. You get that, 2.25 second stun? Yeah. Stunning for 0.25 seconds. So this is okay. Let's take a look at the other abilities, see if it's not a shot. Laws of Hope. 60-second cooldown, regenerate 1 health per second. Assuming that's a passive. Activate to heal 20% of your max health over 4 seconds. Okay. That's pretty good. This definitely helps your survivability. It reminds me a little bit of Muradin's Stone Form. Plus you get the passive regenerate 1 health. I assume this will scale, of course. So we'll have to see how much, how massive this is. Just the passive healing. So this is probably the survivable option, I assume. Roar increases punish damage by 50%. Okay. All these are okay. I'd probably take Laws of Hope, unless we have 3 tanks or something like that. Then I'd probably take Roar or Eternal Retaliation. But if you're the solo tank, you probably want to go Laws of Hope, just to make sure you're living, Or especially if you don't have a healer or something like that. But all of these are okay, I think. I really like what Laws of Hope is, like a oh shit, heal me ability. I like that. Level 7, Battle Momentum, we all know what that is. Conviction. Condemn increases your movement speed by 25% for 1 second. Okay, what's the wind-up? Is it 1 second? Yeah, after 1 second. So this movement speed bonus of 25% is active while you're charging up the pull-in. So that's pretty good. That kind of works really well with what I think Conviction is trying to be, which is an isolator or just a massive AoE stun. So it helps you really get into position to really catch that Vala out of position, or maybe get more situated in a team fight so you can hit more targets with your Condemn. So I think this is really strong. Yeah, I think it's a solid ability. Or talent. Let's take a look at the other one, see if there's anything else. Sins Exposed. Shield Glare marks enemies for 4 seconds. Next time an ally damages them, they take 30 extra damage and the marker is removed. Okay. So it's Leona's ability. From League of Legends, I assume. I assume that's pretty... it's not for everything, but... It is for, Shield Glare. Okay, I'd have to see how much extra damage this actually ends up being. 30 at this level, I can't actually judge it yet. The Crusade marches on. Basic and heroic abilities lower the cooldown of Iron Skin by 1.5 seconds. Okay. So that's 4.5 seconds. Wait, that's 6 seconds possible if you use all your abilities, like back and forth, back and forth. So, I mean, that could be okay. It kind of depends on how strong Iron Skin is. We have to kind of test the numbers first to see how strong Iron Skin is, and then if like your priority is to get Iron Skin back on cooldown, back off cooldown, then you might want to take Crusade Marches on. I like Conviction a lot. I kind of like Sins Exposed, but I need to see the numbers. Like, how significant is this? How significant is Iron Skin? Maybe Battle Momentum is actually really good. You know, Battle Momentum is always a good ability. You know, it's never a bad ability, I suppose. Level 10, we have the Heroics that we've already talked about. Level 13, Hold Your Ground. Increases Iron Skin's shield by 20%, and if the shield is destroyed by damage, the cooldown is reduced by 4 seconds. Okay, this could go really well with the Crusade Marches on. You could kind of go an Iron Skin build. I like this. A 20% increase in the shield is strong enough, but it's almost always like if you're in the thick of things and you pop Iron Skin, it's probably going to be destroyed. So you're going to have the cooldown reduced by 4 seconds, and then another 6 seconds if you use all your abilities after, you know, using it. That's 10 seconds less. That's a 10-second cooldown on this, I think, right? Yeah, 20 seconds. So yeah, this could be really strong. Again, we have to see the numbers first, though. Subdue increases Punishes slow to 80%, decaying over 3 seconds. Okay, this is, wow, that's really strong. That is, wow, that's a strong slow, man. That's like a Lily Water Dragon. Something like that. Just a massive slow. Decaying over 3 seconds. By how much? I think it was like 6%? No. I can't remember. Does it actually say? I don't think it really says. But that's still massive. Like an 80% slow for 1 second is still massive. So I need to see the numbers on this, but if the numbers aren't massive, we'll probably take Subdue, because that's crazy. 16. Blessed Hammer. Blessed Hammer's Condemn also creates a hammer that spirals around you, dealing 40 damage to enemies it hits. Now, this was showcased a little bit in the abilities video that I watched. And the way it looks like it's working is, so if you look at my cursor right now, you're going to have your Condemn like right here. And when you use Condemn, a hammer will spawn in the same like radius, basically, and then it will kind of spiral outwards. Well, it won't like move, but the radius becomes from this to this, and then it slowly gets bigger until it disappears. So it's like that. So it kind of works like you Condemn, they're pulled in, they're getting hit by the hammer, then they're running away and they're getting hit by the hammer. We'll have to see, and we'll have to see how much this actually is. Maybe if it's massive, I might take this, but let's take a look at the other abilities. Fanaticism. While Iron Skin is active, gain 8% movement speed each time you take damage. Stacks up to 40%. I'm seeing an Iron Skin build. Really strong Iron Skin build. This is okay. Like, it's not super survivable, but it could help you get away. You know, you pop Iron Skin and you just start running. That's okay. Like, if you're going maybe the Iron Skin build, this might be pretty good. Holy Renewal. Every enemy hero affected by Shield Glare heals you for 100. That's actually a lot. If this scales and it's not 100 every level, which I assume it isn't, because that might be pretty bad, like 500 health maximum isn't that good. But if this scales, this could be really strong. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see how this scales, if it scales at all. If it doesn't scale, it's probably pretty bad. And I'd probably take Fanaticism. Maybe Blessed Hammer. Have to see. Level 20, the Heroic abilities, or talents. Heaven's Fury. While in the air, Holy Bolts rain down on enemies, dealing 25 damage and reducing the cooldown of Falling Sword by 2 seconds for each enemy hit. I believe it's 60-second cooldown? 80 seconds. So it's a pretty long cooldown. So I did see this in the video, and it looks pretty cool, first of all. It looks very cool. You have to see what these numbers are for real before you choose this, or you know how this works. This seems pretty good, though. You know, 2-second cooldown reduction seems pretty good. So it's not a bad talent, I don't think, but I need to see what the damage is here. Because if it's 25 damage, it's not very good. But if it's like 250 damage, it's better. We have to see how it scales. Indestructible. Upon taking fatal damage, gain a shield equal to your maximum health for 5 seconds. The ability has a 120-second cooldown. Whoa! Holy shit! This could be huge. Wow. Gain a shield equal to your maximum health for 5 seconds. That's 5 seconds of practically invincibility. Because I assume like if you take a fatal strike and you have indestructible, you'll go down to 1 HP. Right? So in that case, it's like, okay, you're going to have life for 5 seconds. So you could use it as an escape. You could use it as time to get away. You could use it to keep fighting and hopefully kill people before your shield runs out and you just die from anything. But we have to see... Actually, we don't have to see. This is just a strong ability. Like, this reminds me of, like, Redemption on Uther. It would really suck if, like, you just automatically die when the shield goes down. I think that would suck. But I don't think that's the case. If, like, you will live after the shield falls off, this could be like really strong. This could be really strong. Like 5 seconds is a long time for a fight, especially for a tank. But let's take a look at Radiating Faith. Increases Blessed Shield's range by 25%. The distance the shield bounces by 25%. Maximum enemies hit by 2. Oh man, this could be pretty good too. I don't think it's quite as good as Indestructible. Maybe if you're like super ahead, you could take like Radiating Faith or Heaven's Fury. I just feel like Indestructible is so useful. You know, it's basically giving you a second life for 5 seconds. That's pretty crazy if you think about it. You can do a lot of stuff. Like you can pull people in, you can slow people, you can, if you still have your ultimate, you can ultimate for 5 seconds. Like this could be really strong. But we do have to see how strong these are as well. I assume this would stun for 1 second for the other enemy's hit. But man, Indestructible seems really, really strong. I feel like I need an excuse to not take Indestructible, you know? I can't justify taking these while Indestructible's still on the table. That's just super strong. And you could even like Iron Skin after it, you know, to make sure you don't die when it falls off. Like man, this could be super strong. But that has been Johanna, Crusader of Zakarum. She looks really strong. She has some really interesting talent choices, and I am just super excited to play her. We're probably not going to get to play her until release. Sad day. She is slated, I think it says it right here, yeah, release date, month 6, day 2, year 2015. So we can assume she's going to be released on the day that the retail game releases. You know, open beta's open into the actual game is when Johanna might show up. But yeah, her abilities look really strong. You know, I like both of her heroics. Her trait looks really strong. We'll have to see how the numbers actually add up. But all her other abilities look really strong as well. Yeah, I am just super excited. I'm super excited to build like an Iron Skin build. It's gonna be a lot of fun when she shows up. So, that being said, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, thumbs up, subscribe, share with your friends. Leave a comment. What do you think Johanna's best build's going to be? How strong do you think she's going to be? Is she going to completely change the meta? You know, what are your thoughts on Johanna? Because I think she's super interesting, and I'd love to know what you guys think as well. With that being said, I've been Maelstrom, and I'll see you next time.